the sacred third ceremony under the Pancharatrika system, then he is Dvija, twice born. That is confirmed by Sanatana Goswami. Dvijatvam jayate. By the process of initiation by the spiritual master, a person is accepted as a Brahmana in his purified state of chanting the holy name of the Lord. He then makes further progress to become a qualified Vaishnava, which means that the Brahminical qualification is already acquired. Thus ends the Bhakti Vedanta purport. Om Agnanatimirandasya Gnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yenam Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Itinamine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pasyata Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gauravaktarunda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. To say nothing of the spiritual advancement of persons who see the Supreme Person face to face. Even a person born in a family of dog-eaters immediately becomes eligible to perform Vedic sacrifices. If he once utters the holy name of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, or chants about him, hears about his pastimes, offers him obeisances, or even remembers him. When we hear about different devotees coming to Krishna consciousness, you can get a practical glimpse of the power of the holy name. I was hearing about one devotee, this was in Europe. He was working in a vegetable shop, it seems, like a grocery store. And in a grocery store, they regularly have to keep stock of all the different vegetables, and there will always be some vegetables that keep getting spoiled, right? And you have to take them away. So it seems when devotees used to go in Nagar Sankirtan, he would take all the rotten vegetables and throw it there. Because he was like, what is this people irritating like this, singing loudly like this and going. And he just kept, these Hare Krishnas, they are all useless people and this and that. And he kept saying Hare Krishnas, these Hare Krishnas, doing that. And he later became a full-time devotee. Yeah. That is the power of the holy name. It is shocking. When we hear about even a person born in a family of dog-eaters immediately becomes eligible. Now, this is not theory anymore. Prabhupada practically demonstrated this. Right? In this country, they make a big deal about dog meat eaters. Because here, practically everybody has pets at home, right? Dogs especially. And they treat them as children. Nowadays, it is very, very common, as I was saying the other day, dogs now have dentists, right? I mean, they were always getting the vaccination shots and everything, but now they have dentists, they have physiotherapy, and they have... Oh, by the way, a significant amount of dogs are in depressed condition. I'm saying, I thought you're supposed to get a dog to get out of depression. The dog itself is depressed. And they are on depression medication. I'm not making this up. Huh? This is actually happening today, right now, especially around us. So they're on Zoloft and all those depression medications. And so when they see that people are eating dog meat, oh, the blood boils. So much protests. Anybody knows how many dogs are eaten in the world, estimation every year? Anybody wants to take a guess? 100,000. Keep going up. Significantly up. Up. 25 million. Why are we saying, oh my God, you know how many cows are eaten every year? A lot of people. Oh yeah, many countries it's very common. Korea is very famous for that, but not Vietnam, Korea, China. A lot of the Eastern cultures, it's very common. Our Shastras are not talking about it because it is not unknown. I mean, it is known from millions and millions of years. Even in India, it's quite common in many cultures to eat dog meat. South Africa, Africa, India. India, it's very small percentage. The Nagaland, Mizoram, those areas. Tribals. 25 million. I was shocked at the number myself. Yeah. So even we have an adverse reaction to dog eating. What is the difference between eating a dog and a cow? Right? So, actually, when you read over here, it's very nice. Prabhupada's words are chosen very, very accurately. Many times Prabhupada used to say, he used to like reading his own purports. Right? Have you heard that? Many times Prabhupada, oh, can you please read? And he used to enjoy. And Prabhupada used to say, I'm not writing this, I'm just, Krishna is dictating and I'm just producing the dictation. Very precise words. A person born in a family of the low caste, which is accustomed to eat dogs, is so positioned due to his past sinful activities. It is very true. It is all taste, matter of taste. Right? You pick a particular taste and you actually have to get conditioned to the taste as well. See, when we say, oh, pig eats stool, for us it's like what is this? But the pig who's eating that stool is very happily eating it. It is looking forward. I'm sure in the pig community, there is different classifications of stool. This is this kind of stool, that is that kind of stool. And there must be there. I'm not even making this up. Just like we sit and classify. Oh, there'll be this sabji, that sabji, and paneer, and this, and this kind of white gravy, red gravy, and you have to use this. You can 100% be certain. Shastras are talking about that in the community. There is talk about it. Today I'm going to have this. And in order for a living entity to be able to enjoy that kind of pleasure, you are conditioned. You are put into that body and you enjoy. But when we look at that, say, oh, what is this? So disgusting. Right? Actually, the next thing, like eating meat, is equally nasty. Many of us were unfortunate to be born in families that were eating meat before. Right? When I talk to devotees, it is most of us. Very few are there who are not born in families that didn't used to eat meat. And if you go back and think, nobody forced you to. Not that, you were like, oh, I have to eat meat, and you're closing your nose and eating meat. We were salivating at the concept of eating meat. And there would be this delicacy, that delicacy, prepared like this, prepared like that. Right? And we were enjoying it. See the power of the holy name. That after a few years, you smell it, meat or any place that it's like you feel nauseated. This is the power of the holy name that we are not understanding. This is the power of getting in touch with a pure devotee. Right? We don't understand this great fortune that we have developed of getting in touch with a pure devotee. So these things, because they're so grossly, after some years we've given up, it's so grossly different. But the Shastras say, our attraction for material sense gratification is equally disgusting. Just hear the sentence, sentence doesn't even register because we're so attached to sense gratification. Our attraction to material sense gratification is equally disgusting. And we should have faith in the holy name, faith in this process, that one day, when our acharyas say, just by the thought of sense gratification, which is the highest sense gratification in this world? Sexual pleasure. There seems to be some doubt in people's minds. Shastras are very clear about this. We give so much of this whole world. They say that 80% of the economic activity is centered around that, ultimately. And the world is running because of that. Not just human beings, animals, this thing. Every species is just running around that. And one day will come, as the Shastras are saying, that thought of that is like, oh, it's so, disgusting. I was hearing Srila Prabhupada's discussion with Jyotirmayi Dasi, who was running a Gurukul in, it's called New Mayapur Dham near Paris in France. So in July of 1976, she and her husband met Srila Prabhupada to take guidance on what should be taught in the Gurukul, how should they be, how should children be brought up and all that. Very interesting way Prabhupada says this. It really struck me yesterday. I was hearing this. Prabhupada said, yes, all my disciples had to be taught about following the 4 regulative principles. No meat eating, no intoxication, no illicit sex, no gambling. And they should be taught to chant 16 rounds. And then Prabhupada was talking about, okay, Gurukul, they should teach this, they should not teach this. And then he paused and said, see, don't have too many don'ts. give them an opportunity to enjoy something higher. And once they enjoy the higher pleasure, they'll give up the lower pleasure. Then he laughed and said, the only don'ts I have is these 4 don'ts. And all of my disciples are having so much trouble following these 4 don'ts properly. These 4 don'ts only I give. That itself they're struggling so much. And he was specifically talking about, at that time, Prabhupada was very, very merciful and gave sometimes sannyas initiation to so many people. He gave, very higher these things, and there were a lot of people who were struggling to follow, even in Prabhupada's time itself. He was saying, simple things I'm giving, they're not able to follow. And when Prabhupada is talking about it, he's talking about following all of these things in its true spirit, right? And so he said, don't stress too much, give them the higher taste. Then they'll automatically give up all these lower tastes. So this is a very important aspect. Our process is not say, don't do this, don't do this, don't do that. It's add Krishna to your life. Properly chant the holy name. Properly hear the Shastras. Really enjoy the beauty of the Lord. Automatically the heart will get purified. And when the heart gets purified, we develop a higher taste. A day will come. We should have that faith that a thought of sense gratification will feel like, oh, what is this? Just like, I was saying, many of us were eating meat before. Just the smell, forget the thought of eating. Just the smell of meat being cooked or, this is disgusting now. Right? Similarly, we can be assured of this process. In the Chaitanya Charitamrita, there is a beautiful pastime of the power of the holy name. There is a devotee called Subuddhi Raya. Subuddhi Raya was a very, very rich jamindar. And he was ruling a significant portion of Bengal. And it is said that he was very, very affectionate to the people under him, the people who used to work directly for him, and he would treat them just like his own children. That was the Vedic tradition. That, people who work for you, they were treated very dearly, just like, your own children. There was a young Muslim boy who worked under him called Hussein. And this Hussein he was always taking care of him nicely. And once there was a project that he had started for building a lake, for storing the water from the rain. And during that construction process, this Hussein was doing some mistakes that was very dangerous for his life itself. And he came to know that he did this. He called him and chastised him. You do like this, you can lose your life. And out of affection for him, he wanted him to remember this lesson very deeply. So he took a stick and pat him on the back. And that he was like a teenage boy. Obviously there was some pain and suffering. There was like a whip mark on his back, but he could understand, oh, I did this mistake. And now he was very, very, very careful about never repeating that mistake. And Subuddhi Raya's thought process was, he could have lost his life by the mistake he did. And so he punished him like that. And there should be some very serious offenses have to be dealt in a particular way. And so, later, he became old, and this boy, Hussein, Through some intrigue, he became Hussein Khan. He became the ruler of that entire kingdom. And when Hussein Khan was ruling this, and then he became, he got married, and he had a very loving, beautiful wife. And one day, his wife noticed, "Hey, what is this big whip mark on your back?" And she said, "What is this? You are the king. How do you get this whip mark?" And then he said, "Oh," he very lovingly remembered it. He was not grudgingly saying, "Oh, this was given by Subudhi. She knew because Subudhi was still known to them, and he treated this boy, Hussein Khan, also treated Subudhi like his father. But his wife was very upset. "What is this? How can somebody beat you like this? You should kill him." And he tried to pacify her. "Hey, what is this small thing like beating? Why should I kill him? You are the king. Now, whenever you are not having a dress on, somebody sees the whip mark, what will they think of you? They'll think of you as a weak ruler. And they all know who did it. And you're tolerating like this, you'll be seen as your weakness. And it will result in, loss of your prestige and all that. You can come inside if you want, please. You can have darshan. And so like this, his wife was insistent. No, you have to kill him. And he tried to convince her, he couldn't, and then finally he said, "Fine." In those days, converting a Hindu to a Muslim was considered as good as death. And the process of converting was very simple. You have they have their drinking pots. You take a pot, a Muslim takes the water from the drinking pot and sprinkles on a Hindu. He is considered an outcast. And the society would completely, he's outcast and finished. Nobody will talk to him. That was the strictness of the society in those days. And so, one day, he called Subudhi and sprinkled water from his water pot. And from next day, Subudhi was an outcast. And he was going around, Subudhi was perturbed, and he wanted to get some relief from this. He said, "During my last days of my life, what is this? I want to follow my, tradition." And so he went to Varanasi. He asked a lot of people, "What should I do?" He went to Varanasi, and one Brahmana told him, "Oh, I have a solution." Everybody else said, "I have no solution for you. You can just repent, and when maybe some life later you can become a Brahmana, be born as a Hindu." So this Brahmana said, "I have one solution. Take ghee from a cow, purified ghee, heat it up nicely, make it like smoking hot. When it is smoking hot, you drink that ghee. That is your solution." I said, "What is this? If I drink that hot ghee like that, I'm going to die." I said, "Yeah, that is the solution." If you drink hot ghee like that, next life itself, instead of waiting many, many lifetimes to become a Hindu, next life itself you will become a Hindu. And Subudhi was like, "What is this?" He was not satisfied. Then to his great fortune, he met Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And he fell at the lotus feet of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and said, "See, I was the king like this, big zamindar, and I've been made into outcast like this. How do I purify myself?" Chaitanya Mahaprabhu then said, "It's such a very simple process. Chant the holy name of the Lord, chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, and you'll become greater than a Brahmana, you'll become a Vaishnava immediately." Subudhi took this to heart, And he started immediately chanting the holy name. He got so purified and elevated that he went to Vrindavan and took up as a special task taking care of all the Vaishnavas. The Bengali Vaishnavas used to come to Vrindavan. In those days, initially when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu started the Sankirtana movement, the places of Lord's pastimes of Vrindavan were all lost. Right? We all know how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu sent Rupa and Sanatana Goswamis to excavate the places of pilgrimage. And so later, when they did this, Subudhiraya would take care of devotees who started coming from Bengal to enjoy the wonderful pastimes of Lord Krishna's pastimes. And so in those days, people when they used to travel, they used to eat the local cuisine, right? So Bengali devotees used to come to Vrindavan, and there the local cuisine was only chapatis. Right? And these devotees are so used to eating rice, they couldn't digest chapatis and they were getting indigestion. Reverse problem of what we have. Many devotees are there, North Indian devotees, they can't eat only rice and they get indigestion if they don't eat chapatis. And so Subudhiraya had a very special service. It says he used to go and collect wood, firewood from the forest, sell that, and from that, what little money he made, he used to buy rice. And whenever any Bengali devotees came, he knew that they will be dying to eat rice, and he would cook rice for them. He would also make some medication from yogurt, and he would put some small medicines into it. And eating rice and that yogurt with medicine would immediately cure the indigestion. I was thinking, this is exactly what I do as whenever I go to North India, I'll be waiting a little rice. I want only one small rice and yogurt, right? Maybe a little pickle. Then you're all set. Your body gets reset immediately. No? So when I was reading this, I was feeling, this is a time-tested process. And so that was Subudhiraya's special this thing, and he would arrange for some special oils for massaging the bodies of those Bengali Vaishnavas. It seems in Bengal it's very massages are a very common way of keeping yourself healthy. So Subudhiraya was very famous for this, and it is said that by serving the Vaishnavas like this, he became an exalted devotee. In fact, when Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Goswamis first went there also, Subudhiraya is the one who received them and made a lot of arrangements for their stay and all that. So this example is given of how, just chanting the holy names can purify. We all know that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and coming in his parampara, Srila Prabhupada never differentiated the Atma, the soul, based on the physical body. Right? Who is the Namacharya? Haridas Thakur. And he was born in a Muslim family. What else do you want? Right? This physical body, the birth of the body, where does it belong? In fact, considering the physical body of a devotee and treating them based on that is a big offense. It's a Vaishnava aparad. It's an offense. So, we see that the holy names are so powerful. In the Padma Purana, there's a beautiful verse. Satkarma nipuno vipro mantra tantra visharadaha avaishnavo gurur nasyat vaishnavo swapacho guruhu. Swapachaha. Right? Swapachaha is a dog eater. Vaishnavo swapacho guruhu. Even if you're born in the family of dog eaters, you become a Vaishnava, you are eligible to become a guru. But if you're mantra tantra visharadaha, if you know all the mantras, tantras, but if you don't develop No? A scholarly Brahmana, expert in all subjects of Vedic knowledge, is unfit to become a spiritual master without being a Vaishnava or expert in the science of Krishna consciousness. But a person born in the family of a lower caste can become a spiritual master if he is a Vaishnava or Krishna conscious. We'll stop here today because we have this Vyas Puja special announcements and some activities. Anybody has any quick questions or comments? One or two questions? No questions? Yes. Yeah, all of us. No. I used to eat meat almost every other day or every day maybe. And I mean, the transformation, the point is, it needs a touch of the pure devotee. I came in touch when I was in 8th grade and I got this Krishna book because of some contest, Krishna contest. And they came to school and said Krishna contest. I used to, but time extracurricular, these things was like, I used to collect certificates. I had like this many certificates of different competitions. And so, okay, this was a statewide competition. Oh, one more. I'd done Ramayana, I'd done Mahabharata. I thought, okay, I'll do Krishna book also. Little did I know that this will completely change my life. I said, okay, Krishna book, read the book, write an exam. And I wanted to be state topper in that also. Okay, fine. I read the book. And they gave the book and the devotees came and said, oh, we'll come on Saturday and we will tell you about, this Krishna consciousness and all that. About the exam, they'll come and tell you. Please come and understand, so that you can prepare. So I got the book and I had not read it. I said, okay, tomorrow there is this class, I'm going to take a class, I better read something. And I read a few pages. I was shocked. You can't read more than 3-4 pages of Prabhupada's books without understanding that your Atma, same Atma is there in animals also. Then how can you eat animals for just your sense gratification? And I went and met the devotees and I had a list of questions. Oh, I'm going to defeat them by my questions. And after the small talk was over and I sat back and I asked question after question. For half an hour I was asking. And the answers they were coming was like eye-opening. That's it. That day I gave up meat. It's like not even took time or this thing. Just one time. And I used to make fun of my Brahmana friends. I used to take an egg in my, I remember almost every other day I used to have egg in my, tiffin box. And I used to make fun of them, like, hey, look at this. Why can't you eat meat? Nobody had an answer, by the way. Not that I asked them, why don't you eat meat? No, it's not good. What is not good? You know how much protein is there in meat? I used to show me a food that you eat that has got this protein and this thing. No answer. Right? This is the problem. When you follow things without understanding, you can't even convince others about basic things. But when you come in touch with the pure devotee, the simplicity of Srila Prabhupada's powerful message, right, can completely transform us. Grantrat Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Jai Srila Prabhupada ki, Bol Premanande. So it's our opportunity to show our gratitude to our spiritual master for the wonderful transformation he has done in our lives by writing a small offering for Vyasa Puja. I'm sure we'll talk more about that. So we'll show a small video so that you'll see the importance of Vyasa Puja and importance of expressing our gratitude to our spiritual master.
I'll just take this opportunity to share with you how an offering is written. This time when we asked many devotees to write the offering, so they had doubts. So I'll just tell you what are the key elements, what we can write, some do's and don'ts. So we start with an introduction where we offer our obeisances to Srila Prabhupada. For that matter, I have written, Respected Srila Prabhupada, please accept my humble obeisances at your lotus feet. Just for your information, we use the word lotus feet for the Lord, for spiritually exalted personalities, because lotus is an embodiment of purity. Lotus-eyed Lord. So lotus feet of Srila Prabhupada. So we offer obeisances. Then we start with glorifying Srila Prabhupada. Now mind you, it's not artificial. We can never sufficiently glorify a pure devotee of Lord or Lord Shri Krishna. So how I have started the glorification of Srila Prabhupada is something like this. Srila Prabhupada, you have been very merciful on all of us. It is because of your compassion that we have good fortune of serving Lord Shri Krishna. It is because of you we have access to transcendental Vedic knowledge. It is because of you we are able to chant and hear the holy names of the Lord. It is because of you we know today about Lord Chaitanya and have opportunity to serve his mission. So this is glorifying Srila Prabhupada for what he has done to us. It is because of him today I am standing right in front of you here. We have an opportunity to serve Lord Shri Krishna. So we are glorifying Prabhupada's contribution in our life. So this probably could be a good way of starting an offering. Then we can mention some of the scriptural references to what we have so far said, or how we have glorified Srila Prabhupada. We can have some scriptural references. Srila Prabhupada on this special day, now one section of the offering can be, what are you asking Srila Prabhupada? Mind you, we are not asking for some material gains or material benedictions. We are asking for Prabhupada's mercy. We are asking for Prabhupada's blessings. So this is what I have written. Srila Prabhupada, on this special day, I beg your mercy so that I do not forget my first duty, which is mentioned in the following quote. If one remembers his first duty, which is keeping in constant contact with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, everything will be successful. So Srila Prabhupada, on this special day, I beg you to give me inspiration, intelligence, determination and strength to accept only those things which pleases you and reject those things which displease you. Let me always remember the true source of my power and abilities. Please allow me to remain your servant eternally, Amitasna Das. So we have a section where we glorify Srila Prabhupada. We have a section where we can refer to some of the Vedic quotes, references, Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, what is saying about a spiritual master, we can refer to that. And on the occasion, we can even ask Srila Prabhupada for his blessings and mercy. And over and above that, we can share our genuine feelings to Srila Prabhupada. We all have feelings of gratitude, how our lives have got transformed. All that can be, in a very genuine way, can be expressed in our offering. So this is what a typical offering looks like. Obviously, there is no hard and fast rule that it has to stick to this format only. The general idea is the disciple expresses his gratitude, love to the spiritual master.
Namayo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namah.
Hare Krishna. For those who don't have pages and pens or who want to directly write on the portal and submit, go to this link on your mobiles, tiny.cc/Vyasa Puja. tiny.cc/Vyasa Puja. VYASAPUJA. So please make sure your pens work. Many of those pens don't work. Take the pen which works. If you want to write directly, type, go there. Have you been there? tiny.cc/Vyasa Puja. Anyone using their mobiles? Can you please stay back here, Matajis? Anyone using their mobiles? tiny.cc/Vyasa Puja. Is it working? VYASAPUJA. VYASAPUJA. It's working. And once you get that, there is a click here link. Click there. It will redirect you to some place. That's the portal where you need to write. So first, who has pen and paper? Write your name and email address and phone number. And then write your offering based on what you heard. Anyone having problems with phones or papers, pens? Let me know. Yeah. Name, email, and phone number. WhatsApp, basically. We want to reach you over WhatsApp. Mataji is there. Any questions? Can you please sit down? Prabhu, you can write in Kannada. Anyone doesn't feel comfortable writing in English, please write in regional languages. We have ability to send that also. Any questions? If you need more time, you're welcome. You can go home and continue, but at least next 10 minutes, you write whatever you can, or at least put your thoughts so you can continue when you go home. But it's better to finish today. If you are comfortable writing on pen and paper, we have more papers and pens. Please let us know.